What is up, guys? It is a beautiful evening. Feels like fall, and that's a scary moment because it was like summer whipped by. I'm gonna get over the hill here just so that the wind isn't as bad. Kind of coming over this. The outfield grass for the baseball field just looks immaculate, and also the grass on the infield of the track looks amazing. They went in kind of a hyper watering schedule, and it is nice. So I was out there touching grass. Just wanted to do a quick video for you guys. So a big thing happened here recently. GDP, gross domestic product. You know, the numbers got put on 9 public chains, including like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, Polygon, Solana, Tron. And that's a very important one because Tron isn't necessarily something that a lot of people thought that was our horse in the race. You're seeing BNB and you're seeing Tron just stepping up. It makes me think that there's a lot of activity coming from China, that they feel that those are their horses in the race. But obviously Justin Sun, you know, his whole, you know, kind of like his business surrounding Tron and all this blockchain related stuff, they had their IPO on the NASDAQ. And then, you know, for the US government to be putting public data on Tron. And if you guys go back to late 2022, I was at the Bentley dealership and I said the one blockchain that is stronger than you think is Tron. And that, you know, if you go back to 2018, I definitely had a lot of criticism about Tron. And again, I could still come up with criticism and stuff like that, but I could see that there was a lot of money being moved around and there were a lot of moves being made. And actually, I'm even surprised at some of these moves. So as far as putting the GDP data on these public chains, it does signal to us that the US government, you know, is sort of tapping into these public chains, and Trump's initiative is to make the US the crypto capital of the world. And this is something we've known for a long time. Obviously, going back to last election, I had a very kind of like, I don't know, it was kind of like a do or die thing, you know. It was just like, okay, this thing is not going to break out if word salad lady who can't answer a question, if she gets elected, this thing is not, you know, you have all these companies being sued by the SEC, you have all these people being sued by the SEC. Now, a lot of that stuff, the war on crypto is over. They're getting into position, and you know, everything they're doing with World Liberty Finance and all that stuff like that, they're positioning themselves, whether they're going to profit off of it, you know, just themselves, you know, the Trump brand and, you know, his family and stuff like that. Yeah, they're positioning themselves to profit off of it 100%. But you know, I'm in crypto, you're in crypto, and these are things, you know, we have to watch. So all the stuff that has ETF filings out there, whether it be XRP, whether it be Avalanche, Litecoin, Dogecoin, all that stuff, obviously that should be a target to try to have hopefully a light position even on them. And some of the stuff you might have to swallow your pride if you didn't like certain things. I've never liked XRP. I've never really liked Ripple Labs, but in a weird way, they ended up being instrumental in the fight against the SEC because they did have enough money to go up against them. You know, and obviously there was others as well. Bittrex was the fallen, kind of the, you know, what should I say? What's the word I'm trying to say? Martyr. That's the word. I kept thinking Messiah. Bittrex was the martyr, unfortunately. And you know, hopefully the individuals that started up Bittrex, you know, have been able to sort of you know, get back on their feet and kind of make it out of that, because you know, a lot of that's, you know, a lot of the attacks and stuff like that, it was going to be tough to survive mentally, and then financially it would just be extreme. So all that being said, all this stuff going forward, we've got a couple months here. So a lot of people are looking at these prices, and it was like Bitcoin was down to like 107 today, and you know, the cycle's not over. I can pretty much just 100% guarantee you that. unless a Mars-sized asteroid, which I've said this before, if it hits the Earth and cracks us in half and stuff like that, I guess this cycle's over. If that does not happen, we are going to pop off in Q4. I just don't see any other way around it. We're going to pop off hard. And this is one of your last chances to kind of get your positions on the stuff that was positioned properly and the ones that are cranking right now. And I did a previous version of this video, and I don't think I said it in this version, but I didn't even know why the flags were at half staff, and no disrespect to, anybody injured in the shootings, and all that kind of stuff. I just didn't know what was going on because I'm so locked in on crypto and AI, and it's very unsettling feeling because it's like I have to make this count. Like, we made it all the way here. You probably feel the same way. We've made it all the way here, and it's just like every week or two we get another update on these AI engines. Grok just, Twitter X just released another update or whatever for Grok that's supposed to be able to code better, because a lot of times you'll end up in these, it'll start chasing its tail and hallucinating and stuff like that, and it gets frustrating. And then you're like, man, I don't think this is kind of spending my time. I don't think this is going to get me to the solution. I would have been better off just looking at this more by hand because it keeps changing stuff. All this is very, very frustrating as you're working with it. But Grok, they released some update, and then you can actually get free access supposedly if you access it through Cursor and a few other kind of partners. They wanted to partner with them, so you have the ability to kind of access this stuff. And one of the things with the AI that I've ran into a lot, even if let's say you pay for the service, you quickly can run out of credits because you're cranking away and you're like, oh man, I'm making so much progress, and then you're kind of throttled back. It's like, hey, you've used too much, so. And a lot of this stuff, they're operating at a loss because it's taking so much electricity and so much power, so much utilization of these GPUs and these data centers. They're losing money on it. And then it's like, how do you go up against that and kind of outrun or outpace that? And it's tough. So we've seen this with a lot of different businesses, whether it be Amazon, where it's kind of like, they're trying to onboard users. They're in this customer acquisition phase, and this might go on for years, customer acquisition phase, but they're jockeying for position, and then they kind of crowd them out. And we even see this with Google. Notice how many ads will pop up for like a YouTube video if somebody doesn't go in there and kind of delete. You have to remove a bunch of stuff. Otherwise, it's like every minute and a half you're going to see an ad. And they're trying to get it profitable, but they're willing to be unprofitable for over a decade, honestly even over almost 20 years, but definitely 10 years. But then every advancement that you make, okay, now you can stream in 4K, or you can do this or that, every kind of iteration, technical improvement takes more electricity, more resources. So it's the same thing with these AIs. And at the end of the day, the AIs and the cryptos are going hand in hand, and it's something a lot of us are working on, putting this together. We've seen this with ICP, with Caffeine AI. Supposedly they're going to release the codes. Everybody that was in the that had signed up for a preview code and stuff like that, supposedly they're going to give all those people the codes by September 16th, supposedly. So we got 2 weeks, and there's competition at hand. Coin Nation is working, on his own platform. It looks really good from what I've seen. Been impressed with that, and I'm working on something. And it ain't just going to be ICP, it's going to be other blockchains, but then being able to utilize the ICP canisters if you want to go that route, or using centralized databases like Supabase. So I think that that's actually a good solution if I can complete it. And I've been wrestling with all these AI engines. Quinn, I have Twitter Premium, so I can throw stuff in Gronk, Copilot, all this stuff. But a lot of stuff's popping up, and they're giving some free access, and then you kind of, it's easy to kind of jump around. and try to see if it can solve your problem. But at the end of the day, it's like a carrot on a stick, guys. And there is going to be a day when that engine does come out that it will get you a step further, or it is going to be able to like actually complete the thing. What I've actually been learning more by using the AIs is different stuff about authentication or different third-party services that are better for authentication, or different products that I hadn't used previously, like Supabase. I had not used that before. The biplane's back flying. It's going to make a lot of noise. At the end of the day, let's see if we can get a shot of this. Where is it? Okay, that was, I don't know, it's up there. I don't know if you guys can see, it's making a lot of noise, but they're going to be giving rides. It's going to be an air show to fly on the biplane. But yeah, that's one of the things. I guess to sum up the video, everybody's running, everybody's sprinting right now. And another thing that I noticed, I was having a conversation with someone else, and they were like, you know what? A lot of new music's coming out. A lot of new songs are coming out. Like Evanescence just released a new song. It was like Disturbed was releasing new songs. Like a lot of rock bands are releasing new songs. And I immediately said, I think they're broke. I think a lot of people are trapped in a corner and they got to make moves to get themselves out of it, because everybody is being pressed by insurance costs, food costs, fuel costs, everything. And it's like we are racing, and they're racing against the AIs, because if they don't make themselves relevant and say, hey, remember us, you know, fake musicians that are created by AI might take their lunch, and they got to provide for their families and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, we are sprinting, and this is one of your last chances actually to take some positions and kind of look at these different ones that do have ETF applications out there, stuff that is very, very active, some of these projects that are very active, some of the stuff that the US government is putting data on those chains, kind of looking at those projects. And then some of the new stuff popped up, you know, Hyperliquid, and I have not got on that platform. You know, I'm over providing liquidity on Black Hole, on AVAX, and I'm on Avalanche, or I'm on the Arena. And, you know, I'm a lot of different places and stuff like that, but it's kind of one of those things where I am trying to keep my toes in a lot of this different stuff and keep updated, because this is going to be kind of our last entry, some of these pullbacks here. And this might go on for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever. But these are your last shot to get in, and then, you know, for these, you know, crank up numbers, you know, 5x, 10x, 20x, and there will be some 100xers from this point, whether that be some of the memes, and we saw what Aura did. So, you know, if crews like that kind of come in and pump something and it goes hockey stick parabolic, that could be your 100x. So again, it's tough to know where to keep your bets, but obviously a conservative bet would be the stuff that the US government's putting stuff on chain, and the stuff that has ETF applications, and some of those probably will get approved before the end of the year. Reiterating, Trump is looking to make the United States the crypto capital of the world. The war on crypto is over. This is the time to sprint, time to get in position. People are out of money. You're gonna have to dig up the money. You're gonna have to dig up the credit. You're gonna have to figure it out somehow, some way. This is your opportunity right now. What are you guys buying? Follow me on all social media, at Brian Phobos, YouTube, Instagram, Steam, Twitter, Hive, DTube, everywhere.